Synchronicity University has an incredible January 2024 and year of 2024 coming up. And for a very limited time, you can choose your tuition rate as low as just $5 a class for superstar astrologers like Stormy, Grace, Cameron Allen, and so many more. Keep an eye out for our upcoming programs. This is the moment, this is the time to cultivate greater love and wisdom and knowledge and insight to your astrological practice. SynchronicityUniversity.com. Links are in the description below. Hello, fabulous superstar Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of December 2023. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological month, without a doubt. Big moves happening in the sky now. Boy, is this a very special time. On the 12th of the month, we will have this month's new moon in your opposite sign of partnership of all kinds. This could be business partnerships or professional alliances. It could be romantic partnerships, very likely, though I'll talk about love in just a little bit. Now, what makes this new moon distinct is that it is speaking in a conversation of tension with Neptune while close in the sky to Mars. And so new moons bring with them new opportunities. In your opposite sign, this would mean new people. However, that square from Neptune is tricky. It does suggest that all might not be as it seems on the surface, not necessarily as clear-cut as you may like or hope. Now, it could be that it feels like there's a new beginning with someone, but it seems to come sort of hand in hand with some disappointment that happens at this time as well. And I'm so sorry to say, but it does happen. That's one of the more immediate applications of a square from Neptune. But it could also be that you are connecting with new people with the hopes of aligning to move towards shared prosperity or shared success or productivity. But there's a feeling there that maybe this person is not going to be able to bring the outcomes that they might be promising at this time. Now, regardless, it's a good idea to pace yourself with this new moon, especially because it is just hours after the new moon that Mercury officially goes retrograde. On the 23rd, Mercury will retrograde back into your opposite sign. And this is where you are able to then look at the events around the new moon, or begin to look at them differently, from different angles, different nuances as well. And that means new people. All is not as it seems on the surface. Now, of course, always do what's right for you to do in light of your unique circumstances. Be open to the possibilities, because new moons do bring new alliances, new people, new potential. And yet, it's almost like you may have to wait until we navigate into a new year to really understand what it is that this person can bring, what they're promising, where there's a disconnect with it, and what is the nature of a key alliance for you at this time as well. Something else to remember, the new moon is speaking in supreme harmony with the North Node. And the nodes have to do with our journey towards greater love and greater wisdom. It's about entering a flow of allowing ourselves to move into alignment, especially with those things that in a more higher meta sense, we promised ourselves we would do with this lifetime. Whatever's happening, whatever it might look like on the surface, especially right around the 12th and into the 13th, know that there will be some interesting ways in which it ends up aligning you with that higher, more loving vision for your life, with that sense of aligning with greater love and greater wisdom. That's the purpose of whatever's taking place. Even if it looks uncertain on the surface, you are navigating a journey now, and more will be revealed. Now, I have really good news, and that is on the 27th of the month. This month's full moon is one of the most fortunate full moons that I have seen in quite a while. And what a wonderful time for this full moon to be occurring. The full moon takes place under the light of the Sun trine Jupiter. Now, some astrologers like to think of Jupiter meeting the sun in the sky as the most fortunate day of the year, and that'll take place in the spring. I'll be here to talk about it every step of the way. If that is the case, well, then I would say the Sun trine Jupiter is a very close second. This is supremely harmonious. The fact that we have a full moon there, and the full moon is speaking in harmony with Jupiter as well, but it's also speaking in supreme harmony with Saturn. All of this adds up to a sense of things being able to change, to move in a positive direction, and the changes now feel fortunate and they have the potential to last a really long time. Jupiter is standing still in the sky, going direct New Year's Eve. It's going to be a very fortunate New Year's Eve for a lot of us out there, and it is the 1st of January that Mercury goes direct. And so you take all of this together, especially the days around the full moon. This is happening in a part of the sky for you that has to do with money you earn, money you spend, self-love and self-esteem. If ever there was a sign that you're moving towards greater prosperity, this really would be it. Chances are you're feeling that lift of prosperity, and so you might be spending a whole lot more at this time as well, but it looks like you feel like you have it. Whatever progress you are making now, though, chances are there's a sense that this is going to last for a long time. And what I mean by that is, this isn't so much a one-off. It isn't like that, one check that comes through, some commission payment that finally comes through. This is about income rising in some way. Now, whether it is actual opportunity, which is most likely, especially if you are being proactive with this energy, and you do that by reaching out or asking for what you want or having key conversations with others. But for some Geminis, this might involve ideas. Great ideas with money-making potential. You want to tap into that and consider what you can implement as soon as possible. Even with Mercury retrograde and Mercury going direct rather soon, you'll figure it out, especially as we enter a brand new year on such a high note. Now, where it comes to matters of love, love is huge for you right now. And I say that because part of the Mercury retrograde is taking place in your opposite sign. Breakups that happen during a larger Mercury retrograde season with Mercury in your opposite sign, even just part of the time, well, they tend to not stay broken up. And I think that's part of the key here. You add to that the new moon. And that new moon is an interesting one because the new moon is speaking very powerfully to a new perspective on partners in your life or new people coming in as well. As I said, there's that difficult connection to Neptune. It's close in the sky to Mars. Either this is going to be breaking free of illusions, acknowledging disappointments. It's going to be a sense that you have a fantasy, but thinking and feeling like maybe the reality isn't lining up to the fantasy, or realizing that if you want the fantasy, well, there's work to be done to get you there. But the fact that the new moon is speaking in supreme harmony with the North Node does suggest that whatever's happening in love now, it is part of aligning you with greater love and greater wisdom, whether that's with this person or someone else, especially in the fullness of time. For those of you open to meeting someone new, a new moon in your opposite sign tends to be a very strong significator for the fact that someone new is going to come in. Part of the Mercury retrograde season, with Mercury moving into your opposite sign on the 23rd while retrograde, going direct on the 1st of January in your opposite sign, being in your opposite sign into the first part of January 2024. All of this to me adds up to, if there ever was a time of reconnection with people from the past, this would be it. If ever there was an awareness around, and there's this song that's coming to mind, I probably will edit this out. It's by Daddy Yankee. If you've watched me for a while, you know I'm a fan. And it's called The New and the X. That's what it is in English. And it's basically him saying you can't compare the new and the X. They just don't compare, but they have their own strengths to them. And so he goes through that. It's a very sexy song. I say that because, yeah, you might have a bit of an experience like that. So it's up to you to decide what's right for you to do in light of your unique circumstances. For those of you just starting to date someone, again, breakups that happen with Mercury retrograde in your opposite sign tend to not stay broken up. There are a few signs that are going to be aware of this trend. Yours is right at the forefront of those signs. And you add that new moon, and it's almost like there is that sense of possibility and newness with this person, and you're looking at them and thinking maybe they could be a partner, but there are factors there that feel less than ideal as well. It could be that it feels like you're wondering how straightforward this person is being with you. As a Gemini, that is something that you would value. Wondering how much of this is just you, your own hopes and aspirations for what this could be. But whatever you may think, and look, it's up to you to decide what's right for you to do. A new moon in your opposite sign could bring someone new into the mix as well. However, with that Mercury retrograde, it just suggests that whatever decisions and choices you're making around this person this month, things will look very different once we move into January. Especially watch what happens January 1st. As we get to the end of the month, the end of the year, Mercury standing still in the sky, officially going direct January 1st. I think that's going to be a big all or nothing type of moment for a lot of Geminis who are dating someone right now. It's like you understand, you see them, and all or nothing. Either you look at this person and you go, this is my partner, this is who I'm moving forward with. Or you look at them and you say, what was I thinking? I wasn't thinking because Mercury was retrograde in my opposite sign, but now I see, and I'm going in a whole other direction. There's not a lot of middle ground for the Geminis out there with this energy this month. And for those of you in an established bond, well, it's possible that the new moon energy and even the Mercury retrograde energy might just be playing out in your partner's life. So it has more to do with what's happening with them and not necessarily the relationship itself, though you might be present to offer support and encouragement where that feels right for you. But for all that, and especially for those of you who might have had questions as to whether or not you're in the right relationship for you, a lot of that stirs with a month like this, especially around the new moon. But I would say even during the retrograde, it is not the time to make a final choice. I just think in an instant, you may see what it was that was bugging you or what choice you wanted to make just differently in an instant. And moving forward for you either will be putting the tough stuff behind and committing even stronger, or it'll be finally you feeling ready to go another way. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It's a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. I am going to say that very fortunate full moon energy on the 27th. It is the star of the show now. There is no doubt. The fact that it's happening right around the time that we get one of the luckiest days of the year, well, it speaks profoundly to you moving towards greater wealth or prosperity at the very least, moving towards an awareness of all the abundance available to you and connecting so deeply with a healthy sense of self-value and self-love. Now that may make you richer than just about anything at all. Thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each week for each sign for just $3 a month with Choose Your Membership Rate at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com, where you get expanded, exclusive horoscopes, access to live events. Higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Links are in the description below. Well, I hope you have a wonderful end of year. I hope you have an incredible full moon. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.